All right, everyone. Another interesting link in the description. The tariff war continues, and leftoids are generally outraged by this. The idea is Trump is making the eggs more expensive. Trump is making the milk more expensive. Trump is making everything more expensive. Oh my God, even though many of those prices are now inching down. You'll notice that when the price of eggs fell by 11% over the course of a single week, there weren't a lot of legacy media articles about that now, were there? The idea behind this article, for example, is that the United States needs Canada. We can't function without them. It's impossible for us to have an economy on our own. We need them as a trading partner. Now, again, I have no problem with Canadians. Absolutely no problem. I don't care if you flood our market with your goods. I don't believe in tariffs, generally speaking, although they can be useful. These are reciprocal tariffs. The idea is that other countries have been tariffing U.S. goods for an excessive period of time, and the United States government, which is solely tasked with representing the U.S. public, has done absolutely nothing about it. Let's say, for example, Canadian clankers. Let's say that the US government was tariffing all of the things that were being imported from Canada at a significant rate. Because, I mean, you've got a 230% tariff on milk, for example. But your government didn't do anything. It did not initiate any reciprocal tariffs. So all of your milk was made in the United States. Your own dairy farmers went out of business. Would you think that fair? I don't think so. Government should represent the people that they actually represent. That's the only reason that they're actually there. The US government doesn't need to represent the whims or wishes or needs of Canadians any more than Trudeau's lagging government needs to represent the whims, wishes, and needs of American people. Understanding this, if you have tariffs on one side, you should have tariffs on the other side. It's just fair. It just makes sense. Now, Canada is a juggernaut with regards to certain exports. Energy, certainly in gas and oil and things like that. Proportion of the population, very high. Wheat and so forth. Rice, actually, as well, I believe. That black-grained rice that's so good that you can mix with cranberries and into a salad, and it's actually like really, really great. It's one of the staples of Canadian food. I've had it before on multiple occasions. I will admit, Canadians can cook. Maple, although Vermont maple is definitely superior ad Victoriam. That being said, though, the US government has been derelict on this issue. It's not that anyone hates Canada. It's not that we seriously intend to invade Canada, turn you into the 51st state. It would probably be more than one state anyway if it was incepted as a territory to begin with. It's not about that. It's about trying to balance trade because we've been lollygagging on this since, God, what, the 1970s or something like that? It's been a while since we've had actual free trade between our two countries. What Donald Trump is trying to do is simply equalize things. That's all. That's literally all that he's doing at the moment. You've already tariffed our goods, but we haven't been tariffing yours, and so it's very, very lopsided. So, dairy farmer in Wisconsin, for example, we've got like 1,000 head of stock or something like that, makes a shit ton of milk and produces it. Well, it can be drunk in the United States, but if you ship it over to Canada, the tariff is so high, ain't nobody buying it unless they've got some sort of nostalgia or something like that. It's never going to happen, and it's a big problem for our economy. Our economy is the only one that the US government should be looking out for. It doesn't need to worry about the Canadian economy. It doesn't need to worry about the Israeli economy. It doesn't need to worry about the Chinese economy. Only the US economy. All we're asking for is reciprocity. Reduce your tariffs and the problem goes away immediately. Does that mean you will have more competition from US goods? Yeah. And if the US then, in return, gets rid of the tariffs on Canadian or Mexican goods or something like that, does that mean more Canadian and Mexican goods in the US market? Yeah, it's all a matter of free market efficiency. Who can create this product at decent quality for a certain price and appeal to the people who they want to buy it, whether it's within their own country or another country. That's the only question you need to ask. And ultimately, I'm placing my bets on the United States because we have high efficiency in the United States. As long as we dismantle parts of the bureaucracy, I think that that would work fairly well. That's not to say that there aren't things that are made in Canada or Mexico that aren't high quality. Canada is a textile manufacturer as well. And people love to get knitted goods up there, woolens and things like that. You can get milk in a bag for some reason. I'm not sure. That's sort of a meme, but apparently it's actually real. Mexico. Have you ever had Mexican food? Yeah. Preferably made by actual Mexicans because gringos generally don't get it. I'm probably the only gringo that can cook a proper taco, for example. I like eating tacos. Yeah. Um, you have this trade network, but only one country is not participating in the tariff war. And then once it begins participating in the tariff war, all of a sudden we're the bad guy. That's completely unfair. If you've been tariffing US goods for, again, sometimes 40, 50 years or something like that, and the US hasn't responded in any real meaningful fashion, what gives here? Why are we the evildoer all of a sudden? Makes absolutely no sense. But I've noticed that modern politics generally don't make sense. There's a lot of hypocrisy to go around. Let's just put it that way. Again, that's not to say that I have any problem with Canadians or Mexicans. I'm the least judgmental person that you're probably going to meet, actually. I literally don't give a fuck. But the governments, yeah. Yeah, Scheinbaum running the nation of Mexico. I need say no more. The Canadian government, run by, Mr. Hobbit himself, Justin Trudeau, he looks like a knockoff Frodo Baggins more than anything else. He's also Fidel Castro's bastard son, but thankfully he's stepping down. Not that the new leadership is going to be any different. It's going to play the same hardline tactic, threatening to shut off energy to a number of U.S. states is kind of more of an act of war than Donald Trump laughing about the concept of Canada becoming the 51st state. I covered that yesterday. One of their members of parliament, actually, and of course he was a commie, was like, well, Donald Trump's statements amount to an act of war. You literally just threatened to shut off power to tens of millions of people. Which one is more meaningful? A tweet or fucking 10 million people in the ass? Yeah, I think that the answer to that question is fairly obvious. That's about all. Peace out.